Tony, if I took away your database, your team, your social media following, and your brand tomorrow morning, what's the first thing that you'd do to generate business in the next 30 days?
Focus on reaching out to at least 100 people that very same day, but not just reach out to them, but how could I get 100 people to DM me? How can I have clients come to me? And it's not about posting every day on Instagram, trying to show funny reels. It's not about any of that. It's about giving the people that are actively looking to buy or sell what they actually want. And to me, I talked about EXP is like, there's the new way of real estate, because let's face it, the game of real estate hasn't changed. We've been taught by the same 4 or 5 coaches over and over again that you have to get your daily contacts and all that good stuff. But the way in which you get those daily contacts has, in my opinion, officially changed. It has officially changed. And it's not to say, for those listeners out there that are extreme prospector, they call expireds, FSBOs, things like that. But I ask each and every one of them, is that scalable? Is that duplicatable? And you might say yes, because I could hire an ISA, but is that ISA going to do the same job you could do?
They're not going to do it like you do.
No. And the way in which you get your 100 contacts a day or touch points a day is, in my opinion, now with AI and things like that, gotten easier than ever.
That's interesting, because most agents would answer that completely different. Welcome to the Leverage Lounge. I'm Mike Collier, and today we're talking about the new rules of real estate with Tony Cruz.
Hey,
Tony.
Everyone.
Yeah, man. What would you say is the biggest lie that agents are still believing about building a real estate business today?
I mean, to me, the biggest lie in building a business is that you have to sit there and grind the phones 4 to 5, 6 hours a day. You absolutely still have to prospect, but to me, you don't have to sit in open houses anymore. You don't have to door knock. We're living in the most profitable digital age, especially with AI, that you don't have to do those things, right? But the same coaches that are out there that have been teaching you for 20 years also haven't focused on how could they expand their own business? How can they learn more to coach more, right?
Yeah.
And that's, to me, it's not really a call out, but it's like, okay, I see these people saying these things, and what are you doing to change along with the time? Because what I'm hearing is you're not, right?
It's true. So what are agents doing too much of right now and not enough of right now?
They're doing too much of talking at their audience versus talking with their audience. Most agents I see every day in, day out are posting, they're an icon agent. They're this. They're posting the just listed, just solds. They're posting all the things.
The look at me content.
Look at me content. All that content that does not resonate with their audience or with the cold audience. Because let's face it, the hardest part in getting a customer is connecting with that customer. And a customer is not like, Mike just listed that just listing. I want to go with him. Because in the background, that customer's thinking, dang, I am a self-employed individual. I just hit a 1.5 years of self-employment, trying to figure out if I could buy a house, and I can't. So granted, you just post a killer deal on a listing, but are you speaking to the audience you're trying to go after? I think as a new agent, if you had to ask me, what's the first thing I should do? The first thing I should do is head over to ChatGPT and figure out what is my exact audience that I want to market to and own that niche.
Yeah.
In my opinion, owning that farm. Farming used to be about communities. I'm calling farming is now my exact client avatar, right?
Okay. Are we dealing with like a market problem, like a consumer shift? I guess the question is if any of that ever worked, right? Because I think what ended up happening is that you'd have top performers who started touting, and then that creates aspirational content for other agents. And they're like, oh, well, they're getting these awards and they got all these titles. I want to do the same thing. I want to sell 100 homes a year too. And so when I sell 25 or 50 homes a year, I want to like champion that, because that's going to make the consumers see me as a top professional and want to go with me. And so are we talking about like a consumer mindset change? I don't know if it ever worked. Or are we talking about a business model change?
I'm talking about business model change.
Yeah.
The consumer mindset since the Stone Ages, if you understand my wants and my needs, and you could show me that very quickly, I'm going to go with you. It's the same thing with doctors, okay? A doctor, when you go sit down with a doctor, do you see them advertising, I've done 20 nose jobs in the past month? Do you see that? No.
Typically not, no.
Okay. Cosmetic surgeons, no. You go with the doctor that you connect with, that listens, that understands me, and can show me without me talking to you that you understand me. And I think that's the number one key thing when it comes to social media content is, are you showing your audience you understand them without even having a conversation with them?
To your point, attorneys and doctors, they do talk about their results, but it's typically not them that's talking about the results. It's the testimonies that their clients are sharing about the results that they got using that individual.
Correct. And it's the hook, story, offer framework.
Right? Dan got me $1 million.
And it goes back to when they say Dan got me $1 million, it goes into their story. The hook was Dan got me $1 million. The story was what happened in their court case that got them the $1 million to help resonate with that potential new client. And the offer was, call us now at 888-5880 to get you your money too.
Yeah.
So even I see these people posting their pictures of them with their clients at a closing table, which is awesome. Like, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
But why not shoot a selfie video with, hey, especially right now, everybody who's selling properties should be so selfish because you could be a horrible agent and save your client $10,000 because homes are just not selling for list price. If you're selling 2 houses a month, you do that over 6 months, that's 12 different videos you have of how you save that person $12,000. And guess what? You post it now, but when the market turns and it gets competitive again, you start running those videos as ads.
Yeah. Circle back. I like it. So if most agents continue doing what they're doing, like exactly what they're doing now or today, where will their business be 3 years from now?
Out of business, in my opinion, because I left real estate, left on top, went and ran a multi-million-dollar marketing agency in another industry, learned what real marketing was, how the bigger corporations are marketing. And I look at the real estate industry and I look at what agents are doing, and they're marketing themselves, not what they can do and how they can help their clients. And to me, even the bigger teams that I'm working with right now, they're all saying, Tony, I don't want to market myself. I really don't want to market my team. I want to market to the ideal client avatar. If you start marketing in that aspect, you will win. You will dominate.
Yeah.
You'll win and dominate.
Before we get into your story, I want to establish something because I think a lot of people know your name. A lot of people have heard you speak on like mastermind calls, but they may not understand your perspective and why it carries so much weight. So you talked a little bit about your career, but looking back at your career, what market cycles have you survived that made you
Well, I started in 2013, man.
Okay.
I think my proudest accomplishment is Rookie of the Year. My very first year in real estate, sold 23 homes. I'll never forget, and I love her to death. I was with Keller Williams. Beth Woodhall was I think she's now the OP, but she was the head of the office. And she sat me down at Ignite and said, I want you to pick up the phone and dial everyone in your contact list.
Oh, yeah.
Day one. And I turned around and said, I'll wait until she walked to the front. I walked to the back and walked out. And I went to Milton James's office and said, what are you doing, Milton? He's like, I'm cold calling. I'm like, great. How many contacts are you trying to get? He told me how many contacts. And at the time, I owned a landscaping company that I was actually exiting, like it was already sold. And we were just going through the closing process. And then I realized that how I was marketing my landscaping company on Craigslist and Facebook is the same way I can market for real estate.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so while you're doing that, Milton, I'm going to go do this. And let's see who at the end of the year who has more sales. And we were very neck and neck that year.
That's awesome.
I never picked up a phone. He did it every day. So
was that his first year in the business at that point?
I think at that time he was already 6 months in.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, I think he was already 6 months in.
Well, he's crushing it now.
I talked to him this weekend. He's like, yeah, my goal is 100 houses this year. I'm like, dude, that's amazing.
Let's go.
I want that for you. How can I help you?
Yeah.
And he's even looking at putting AI systems in place in his business to do more and be more. So pretty exciting to see what he's done. So, but yeah, I think rookie of the year out of the multiple offices in the organization was my biggest accomplishment myself in real estate.
Yeah. Well, you've seen a few market shifts change through that time too, since 2013 all the way up to now for 13 years. What have those market shifts taught you most, would you say?
He who stays in front of their clients wins. He or
Okay.
she who stays in front of their clients wins. I actually, in 2018, when I left real estate, I left it for the marketing agency, making killer money, like making almost the amount of money I was making when I was selling 50 plus houses a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I dropped my database. And then within 2 years, I went back to my database because like I had the itch again, the realtor's itch of wanting to get back and do it. And I realized 25% of my database is already bought and resold, totaling about $200,000 in commission. I about lost it.
Yeah. Those are painful, man. Those are the gut punch moments that everybody goes through it. So why do agents continue seeking your advice? Like, what are you helping them with now?
So right now I'm really helping agents with honing in on their brand and not just like who they are, but who their client avatar is. And then also putting scalable systems in place in their business. Everything I want to do, I want to be able to scale it. If you're an agent that's like, I just want to sell 20 homes a year and that's it, probably not a good fit.
Yeah.
I want you going from 10 homes a year to 100 homes a year. And a lot of times that's very easy to do, not within the first year. Like, let's be honest, like there's a lot of things that happen. But a lot of agents that are in that 10 to 20 range, if they had smart systems and smarter strategy on prospecting, you could easily get to that 100 home mark if you just understand the power of getting in front of more people every single day and selling, most importantly, one to many.
Yeah.
See, the key to it is absolutely learning your way to sell one to many. Prospecting, cold calling is 1-to-1. Door knocking is 1-to-1. Sending out postcards is 1-to-1. Right? How do I sell one to many? How do I do that?
All right. So what made this shift happen? Because like, when did you first realize that this business was harder than it expected and agents needed a better way to think about the way that they were doing it? Because like you said, real estate's been around since the Stone Ages. Client psychology has been the same since the Stone Ages for the most part. So what was the shift? Why did you start going down this path?
Well, it all started like, I did the rookie of the year, started my own mega team, went off to be a managing broker, multiple offices, got out of it, went to the marketing agency. And then the marketing agency is where I learned real marketing, right? Where I learned, me and my business partner were spending over $100,000 just in coaching and mentorship programs a year to learn from the best of the best.
So let me get this right. You left real estate and started working with a marketing company, or you started a marketing company?
No. So I started working with Jake Randolph, Beauty Biz Pro, which my wife at the time was an esthetician, and I actually sold Jake about $5 million in real estate. What was wild was this is a young guy, had a large marketing agency, and I was the only client he knew that was a real estate agent. And he was in Alaska at the time.
Wow.
And long story short, I helped my wife crush her business. She had killer results for his marketing and my coaching. He's like, let's team up. He had been chasing my tail for a year. And then finally, one day, that fateful day, I was like, I am done with real estate for right now. I'm going to table this. And I was going to go start my own marketing agency because I saw what Jake was doing. And he's like, let's just work together. Let's work. So we went around for about a month and a half, and he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. So then I told him with the caveat, there was a caveat to me going to work with him. I said, we're going to do this together in real estate within the next 3 years because our realtors need this. I'm not a huge money person. As long as I have my car, my house, like I don't need to have mansions and yachts and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need any of that stuff.
You're selling the boat, so you don't need that anymore either.
Yeah, I don't need that anymore either. So long story short, we turned around, and last year was the year we had all of our systems dialed in the marketing agency. And I said, Jake, it's time for us to start our other company. And that's exactly what we did. And since starting, connecting with Veronica Figueroa, Gil Ramos, Kendall Bonner, getting
Yeah.
those circles. We've been helping them for quite a while now. And even, with Kendall, she has her amazing coaching program
Mm-hmm.
on speaking on stages. And we helped develop her sales funnels, her branding, helping her with her webinars. And the real shift for me was honestly webinars. So if you had to say, what was that pivotal shift? I'm like,
Yeah.
agents are
Yeah.
not doing webinars. And that is the true definition of selling one-to-many. And you may be thinking, listening right now, well, I'll do a home buyer web seminar and webinar. I do
Yep.
those. Or there's a guy on Facebook that's peddling his webinar for realtors coaching program. And I know several people that have gone through it. And I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is not it.
Yeah. There's a lot of agents who have tried to do the home buyer webinars, the home selling webinars, and nobody shows up. Right. And they're like, this just doesn't work. And it's probably similar to the agent who does the open house and nobody shows up and they're like, this doesn't work. So what's
They don't know how
different?
to drive traffic.
Okay.
They don't know how to build urgency. They don't know how to follow up pre-webinar and post-webinar, right? Running the ads is probably the hardest part of the webinar outside of the actual webinar slides. I do webinars every single week. Heck, last night I did a webinar for my other company. I'm looking at it right now. I'll show it for the audience. $35,000 last night
Let's
on our
go.
webinar. And you can see the spark in our dashboard just because of a 3-hour webinar I did.
And that's a different business.
That is a different business.
Yeah.
But if I was an agent right now, and I want to leave some gold, if you don't mind, Mike, on this
Please.
call. If I was an agent right now, I would, number one, figure out how to get in front of 100 people, not a day, but a week. And that kind of goes back on what I said earlier, because you should get in front of 100 people a day. But I'm lazy. I am lazy.
As are most people. So yeah. Keep going.
So I would create buyer and seller webinar ads that speak to, don't buy in this new construction community until you watch this, until you attend this. I would make one ad for every new construction community in my town, run it to people in my area. And with Anthropic now and Meta, they'll find who those buyers are. Everybody's like, oh, I could target Zillow. I could target new home buyer. It doesn't matter who you target. It's what your ad says.
Yeah.
So I would run an ad for every new construction community. I would put probably $15 to $20 a day behind it, each one. Run an ad, have probably 200 people sign up for that. And out of 200 only, this deflates people. If you have 200 people sign up to a webinar, expect to have at least 35 to 50 show up.
Wow. 200 registrations, 35 to 50 show up. Okay.
A 25% show rate is very good.
Yeah.
That's very good. So, and then from there, you go on, all right, guys, you start asking questions. So the way the webinar is going to go is, all right, guys, if you don't mind right now, I want us all to be real with each other. How long have you been looking at buying or selling a home? They drop a link in the chat. You start with questions. Number one, are you looking to sell a home? Type 1 or 2 in the chat. You have all these people type 1. Guess what? You're sitting there while they're typing 1. You're sitting there taking screenshots of everybody that's typed 1. Right? And then number 2, who's looking to buy? And then everybody says they're looking to buy. I say, okay, by the end of the tonight, you're going to have confidence, because let me ask you, you haven't bought or you haven't sold because you just don't know who to work with and you don't know who to trust. Type a yes in the chat. So now you're identifying with them.
Yeah.
You're identifying with them. And then you go into, all right, so who am I? And I'm going to stick on this for 2 seconds. I'm Tony Cruz, owner operator of the Apex Agent Group. We've helped dozens of families buy and sell real estate, but I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. Because let's face it, right now in the economy's this, the economy's that. Why home prices are high. Go why builders are such an amazing option to buy from, right? Go over the top 3 communities that have the best incentives right now. And then from there, say, also, if you'd like to save more money, this is what I do. This is how I could do it. And then go over a few really tricky scenarios people may be in the audience having. Maybe who here's looking to buy and sell in the same day? And you have a few slides on buying and selling in the same day. Who here is self-employed and saying they can't get finance? You have a few slides on that. You run the top 4 scenarios you go into. Remember when I said earlier in the call, when today you may be making the biggest decision of your life. Because you have one or two paths. One, you can keep looking at Zillow, Realtor.com, getting conflicting advice. Or path two, we can go at it together.
Mm-hmm.
Who here would like to see what path two looks like? Then you see the whole chat light up because you're getting them to say yes.
Yes. Right.
Because tonight, if you decide to make that decision, I have an offer special for you. And then you go into your offer. Every real estate agent, believe it or not, has an offer.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight you could join the Tony Cruz Buyers Club, Tony Cruz Sellers Club. And what that looks like, you get one-on-one access to me. You get one-on-one access to my media team. You just list out your listing presentation.
Right.
When you say, who here thinks this is valuable? Type a yes in the chat. Who here thinks this is valuable? And they're going to say, yes.
Yes.
By the way, normally a value like this is somewhere around $9,000 to $10,000. Most agents charge 3 to 4%, right? But tonight only, if you become a member of the Tony Cruz Buyers Club, you're going to get lifetime access to work with Tony Cruz. And I'm willing to negotiate with my commission. Tonight only, it's $199. Drop a pay link in the chat and get people to pay you, boy. Get people to pay you to work with you.
I like it.
You bring relevance, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that their worth is just worth the commission. No, create a community, because now you're giving all these people an identity to work with you. Because right now we're in a lack of trust economy. People don't have an identity to work with you.
Yeah.
Give people the identity, because me and Jake, I do right now about 3 webinars a week. And we've done free webinars. We've done paid webinars. We've done webinars with order bumps. And the best webinar by far is doing a free webinar to, once they sign up for free, you offer them a VIP experience for $37 where they get the recordings, they get the transcripts, they get everything. And then at the end of the webinar, those people that all spent $37 are typically the ones that are going to spend the $199.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're identifying the buyers.
Step-up buyers. Right.
So everyone listening to this call, have you ever heard about this kind of stuff in real estate before?
Most people have not.
No.
You're hitting on a lot of the things that even I've had questions about, which I love, because like, what role do you feel that personal branding plays right now? Is it important? I mean, you're not some huge influencer on social media, not that I've seen, right? You don't have millions of followers. You step on stages. Some people know the name, but you're not like out there. Does that mean anything, or does that have to happen before you can make any of this work for you?
Not at all. And I'm happy that you said that, because I don't have a massive following.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I do is really connect with people. I identify with people. Me and you have had multiple run-ins this past year. I think every place I've gone to, you've been there.
Yeah.
We've always been like, let's do something together. Let's, and we're finally doing it. But it's even the other day when you were on the call and you're like, dang, I didn't realize these calls were like this. I would have been joining a long time ago, right?
This is true.
So it's about bringing more value than you take.
Yeah.
In a lack
Better to
of
give
trust
than to
economy,
receive.
yeah. In a lack of trust economy, if you lead with yourself, you will lose. Hands down.
So how should agents be thinking about AI in all of this then? Like, what's more important today? Is it technology or relationships or both?
Automating your relationships.
Okay.
Agents need to focus on, how could I automate my relationship in a agentic way?
Okay,
right?
Tell us more about this, because we're hearing all about agentic AI and all this stuff, but most agents don't know what this means. So what are we talking about?
So like I mentioned before, I run multiple companies, and I'm using AI to create better relationships with my staff. I'm using AI to check in with my staff as if it was me every single day. I'm using AI to give me reports. For a real estate agent, you're using Follow Up Boss, Lofty, Bold Trail. My team, we install AI bots that sound like you, that talk like you, that use your isms Imagine if you had an AI agent going in your database every day, just starting conversations. For a lot of people, especially, I love the agents like, I've been in the business for 20 years. Why are you still selling $5 million in real estate? The number one reason why is because they have not figured out how to scale their conversations.
There we go.
I have nothing against that agent. I love that agent. That agent is the easiest agent to work with, because once they realize that, oh my gosh, I just need to scale my conversations.
Which goes back to the one-to-many approach that you were talking about earlier.
Bingo, one-to-many. So you have webinars one-to-many. You have AI chatbots one-to-many. You have voice AI one-to-many.
Yeah.
You have all these different things one-to-many. How could I have more conversations faster? The velocity of a conversation.
So since this is the Leverage Lounge, let's go ahead and continue to talk about leverage, because we're talking about leveraging AI, automations, and all that kind of stuff. What is the first thing that agents should be delegating right now?
The first thing I would look at is how many conversations can I have a day?
Okay.
The first thing, if
That's
you're
the
an agent
greatest leverage in our business right now.
Yeah. If you're an agent right now looking to leverage out your business and you're like, okay, Tony, I get I need to have conversations. I get I need to have more. Just like Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, all those guys, they talk about having more conversations.
Yeah.
But you can leverage your conversations now with AI. So the first thing I would do is I would get an AI chatbot to go into my database and have more conversations with my client avatars. And when I say my client avatars, I mean my buyers, my sellers, my investors, my people that purchased from me 3 years ago, my people that purchased from me 2 years ago. I would segment the heck out of my database, and I would have an AI agent holding conversations based on how they're segmented. This is gold. If anybody, like, I know people are watching and they're thinking, well, I don't even get likes. I don't even get clicks. Guess what? Instagram says you can have 10,000 followers. If those 10,000 followers does not like and engage in your stuff in the last 2 weeks, they're not going to show you their stuff for the rest of the 10,000.
Right.
So there's the reason why you're not getting more likes and followers with 10,000 followers. Delegating your database, really niching down, creating different buyer buckets, seller buckets, investor buckets.
Yeah.
People that have bought from you 2 years ago, 2 months ago, really niching down that database.
Yeah.
And then building chat AI agents to talk to your database.
Right.
Then number 2 is looking at my Instagram account, realizing that the reason why I'm not getting more likes and follows is because people are not engaging with my stuff. So how do I get people to re-engage? I start sending emails about my daily post on there. And also to incentivize them to go check out the post, I do giveaways. A Starbucks gift card, a Bole gift card. Once a month, do a gift card to Morton Steakhouse. Keep it fun and active.
Oh, you're talking about some good gift cards, not a $5 Starbucks.
That's
We're talking about
give good gift cards.
Yeah.
Don't be cheap. Give good.
Don't be cheap.
Don't be known for the cheapest person.
Hey, yeah. Don't make it a race to the bottom. I like it.
Yes. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it is having the more conversations with your database. So my number one focus in any business is what do I currently have and how am I currently nurturing that? My number 2 focus is, okay, what does my external brand look like, which is my Instagram? Okay. And then number 3 is really making sure and looking at my content that I produce and how I talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the content I am putting out there answering questions that the buyer or seller may have? Is when I'm talking to a buyer or seller, am I asking them more about them or about myself? See, a lot of times people don't realize that they even talk about themselves so much. And people don't really care about that. I would say I'm a rock star stellar agent, but I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna do a small plug, but I have a listing right now in Dr. Phillips that's $550,000 and I can't get a buyer for it. Now, Mike, you know the Dr. Phillips market, that thing should have flown off the shelf a long time ago.
Yeah. Under 600,000, you would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I run a marketing agency. I am a guru in marketing. We can't get that damn thing sold. But my seller really doesn't know how big of a guru I am. And thank God, because it would make me really look bad. Right.
Yeah.
But I say that to say is even the best guys have their worst days.
Love
Right?
that. Love that. No, that's good, man. All right. So it's time for the Leverage Lounge hot seat. You ready? Now, I want you to come up with the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
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 Biggest mistake agents make.
Talking about themselves more than their clients.
Okay. Most overrated lead source.
Zillow.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. What's the most underrated lead source?
Facebook Marketplace.
Ooh. All right. One book every agent should be reading.
I'm gonna be selfish.
Come on. Is he an author too, y'all?
It's The Realtor's Guide to AI Visibility and Digital Authority. Right there.
Boom. By Tony Cruz.
It's on Amazon. Go check it out. But also, to me, one book that really helped me was The One Thing. Oh, also The Secret.
The Secret. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. What's one habit every top producer should be developing?
Empathy.
Oh, I'm going to let you go a little deeper on that one. Come on. Go ahead.
Most top producers focus on themselves, care about themselves, their accolades. They're very self-absorbed a lot of times. There are very few top producers, which I will say in my group of friends, friend circle, the reason why they're so successful is because they're so empathetic with others. They want to help. They want to give more than they can take.
The focus is helping more people, not getting the sale.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Love it. What's the best investment you've ever made?
I would say running ads on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
With the caveat that I knew the power of ads prior to doing so, because I know that I need 6 to 10 leads before I get one closing. And I know I need to follow up these leads at least 6 to 10 times.
Okay.
Knowing that and you run ads, you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah. What's the best investment you've ever made in your personal life?
Getting married.
Hey, make sure she plays that. Something you've changed your mind about recently.
Honestly, this is a little personal maybe.
Yeah.
But I always strive to rise others up, even like despite me, and putting others way first before myself.
Okay.
And I had made the decision in my closer circle that I got to put myself first and I need to speak up as well.
So how does that show up now?
Right now, there's a lot of confrontation in my life because of it.
Confrontation because of it? Okay.
Yeah, but it's because I've always been the guy that's like, yeah, well, I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it. I'll do this. I'll do that. I got your back. I'll do it. Don't worry. You don't got to show up. I'll show up for you. And now I'm not doing that. I know my own worth. Identifying my own worth, that's been my biggest shift. Identifying truly my own worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because a lot of people say they know their own worth, but they don't exercise their own worth.
Have you read Worthy?
No.
Jamie Kern Lima, the book Worthy, she talks about that. It's really, really good. Matter of fact, Ed Milet had her on his podcast talking about it. So she's the real deal. Quick story. She met Oprah one day and Oprah was like, hey, give me a call sometime. Gave her number. She's like, and she grew up like idolizing Oprah. Like this was the moment. And she never really felt worthy of calling Oprah. And Oprah ended up seeing her years later and was like, hey, you never reached out to me. And she's like, oh my gosh. Not only did Oprah remember me, but she also remembered that I never even reached out to her. Mm-hmm. And that was one of those moments where she just realized it was more about her worthiness or feeling of unworthiness that was holding her back from some of her greatest adventures in life. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What's a belief that you hold that most agents would disagree with?
You don't need a cold call.
Okay. I think most agents want to agree with you on that because
nobody
wants to do it, but they feel like that's the way.
There's one agent that both me and you know very well, Mike. I know you know this individual, and all he does is cold call.
Yeah.
That's all he wants to do. And we've had conversations here recently. I'm like, when are you going to start scaling your business? He goes, I am. I just got to double down on my dials. I'm like, so you don't have a business, you have a job.
That leads into my next hot seat question, which is probably one and the same. Most important leadership lesson.
Lead with compassion and understanding. And you have to trust in the people you put around you.
Yeah. What's one thing that you're excited about right now?
Well, I am excited right now to get my Mac Mini in the mail and build a whole AI workforce.
Yee, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. So tell everybody, because I think if you're in AI circles, you've been on webinars, you've been hearing what's going on, reading and trying to just keep up with all that's going on. You probably heard people are buying these Mac Minis or their own separate PC, and they're doing something with them, and these things are working autonomously, and they've got these bots that are all this stuff, right? But you probably don't fully understand exactly what's happening. And this is actually on a call that Tony and I were on just recently that he hosted. He started talking a little bit more about it, and I realized I didn't know as much as I thought that I knew. And it was a lot more intriguing than I thought it was originally.
And
So
was it a
let's
lot
talk about what
easier?
you're doing with it.
Yeah, was it a lot easier than you thought?
Yeah, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
So kind of talk about what you're doing there.
So what I'm doing is I am building AI agents to manage my team first and foremost. Those are the first agents I built. So I use Claude Code, and on Claude Code, I build out agents to check in with every one of my team members every single day, ask them how their day is going, what projects they're working on. Then at the end of the day, these agents also follow up on what projects they're working on. And then also what I'll do is I'll say, hey guys, I'll tell Claude Code, hey, can you please tell Maria to build this landing page doing this, 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 and this. And then when I tell Claude Code that, it's going to go to my Slack channel, message Maria, tell her to build this thing, and follow up with her and answer any potential questions she may have.
Mm. So good, man. So good. And you make it sound so easy.
I taught you all in like 35 minutes. So yeah.
You did. You literally shared your screen and showed us exactly what you were doing. So I appreciate your leadership on that. I've become a big fan of yours just
Thank you.
only meeting you, what I think it was a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. And just watching some of the things that you're doing and the way that you lead and give, as you mentioned, even through the climber community that many agents are a part of. And I know you work with Kendall Bonner with that. We've had Kendall Bonner on the show. You mentioned her earlier.
Love
We've
that.
had her
Yeah.
on the show, and it was an awesome episode. If you guys haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to the Kendall Bonner episode. I think that it's important to continue to show up in legacy. It sounds like you think about legacy often, what you're leaving and what it means to make an impact, keeping that at the forefront more so than being transactional.
Mhm.
And so a couple final questions I have for you here is, how would you say your definition of success has changed over time?
It's not about money. It's about how many people I impact. It used to be a dollar amount. It used to be, oh, once I get there. I've made really good money.
Mhm.
And it's just turned into okay, now I can buy this, now I can buy that. And then I buy these things and I can't even use them because I'm so busy working
Yeah.
to pay for that thing.
Yep. What are you pursuing today that has nothing to do with money?
What I'm really focused on is helping agents grow and scale without oftentimes even charging them. A lot of times, a lot of what I do is free,
Mm.
right? Because I know the law of reciprocity and I'll get it back someday. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, may not be this year, may not be next year,
Yeah.
but I know God's on my side.
Yeah. Amen.
And I know that the more I give, the better life I'll have.
I'm telling you, dude, it is so important. Faith in my life has produced some of the best results that I could never even dream up myself. In having a faith forward perspective in the way that I run my business, my family, and all that stuff, that even as many as much as the daily decisions that I make as to what I say yes to, what I say no to, who I say yes to, who I say no to, allows me to be in certain places, certain circles that I couldn't have even drawn up myself. I think it's important, man. What role has faith played in your journey?
I've never really been a huge spiritual guy. I'm a God-fearing man. I love my faith. Up until recently, I've really reconnected. I think it actually is after Cabo. I know you ran our faith circles in the mornings and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and really just diving more into it and getting more grounded.
Good, man.
So I think you had a large part to do with that and you didn't even know it.
Love that.
But for me, faith has helped me let go and trust.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Let
surrender.
go, surrender. That's a big thing to me, for me.
I think if more business leaders who are at the very top of their game or ascending to the top of their game also grew in their faith, they'd be a lot more fulfilled. Tony Robbins says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure.
Yep.
There's so many people who get to the top of that mountain, man, and they feel empty inside. And like you said, they made all the money, but now they don't have the time to spend the money with the people that they said that they were doing it for in the first place. You know, I'm doing this for my family. My wife is my why. My kids are my why. Well, why haven't you spent time with your kids over the last month? Why did you miss that dance recital? Because you were working, because you were ascending the mountain. And I'm not saying that there isn't sacrifices that we have to make, but I know that when our career is over and we start thinking about what people remember about us most, it's not about how high we climbed, how fast we climbed to get to the top of that mountain. What do you hope people remember most about you after your career is done?
I hope they remember that I was a giver more than a taker. That's a big thing. I don't know. It's a fear of mine, for real.
He gave more than he took.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, final question that I have for you. I want you to imagine an agent is listening in right now. Business is slow. Their confidence is low. They're questioning whether or not they even belong in this business. So what is the one thing that you want that person to hear today?
People are still buying and selling real estate regardless of the economy. My statement in question would be, stop feeling bad for yourself because transactions are happening every single day. What are you doing to get in front of them? And if you ask that question to yourself, what am I doing to get in front of these transactions that are happening? Guess what? You're probably going to see the reason why you're not having transactions.
But they're doing the things, Tony. They're making phone calls. They're calling leads. They're doing open houses. They're showing up. They're learning. They're doing the things, but it's not working.
But it's not working, right? It's because the things that they've been taught are freaking from the 70s and 80s, right? Going back to the beginning of this call, how are you talking to your audience? Are you talking with your audience or at your audience? When you're calling expired, you're talking at that person. We all know that expired wants to sell, right? We all know that. But we're all using the same exact script. So stop talking at your audience. Stop it.
I love that. So we're probably talking about alignment at that point, right? Aligning with our client as opposed to just kind of trying to lead a conversation. Well, Tony, where can people connect with you and continue learning from you? Because you have a lot to give.
Yes. So if you want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram, official_Tony Cruz. I'm right there. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. You have any questions on what we discussed today? I'm happy to answer.
Awesome. Well, if you got any value from today's episode, or you know that there's another agent who needs to hear it, please share this episode. And remember, leverage isn't about doing less. It's about creating more impact with what matters most. All right. Well, we'll see you next time inside the Leverage Lounge. Take care.